Gonna see if we can get this contraption to run. I just changed the pulley on the power hacksaw there from a 4-inch to a 5-inch because the old Maytag has one cylinder that's worn a little worse than the other, and she likes to bog down and slowly die with the old gearing. Let's see if she'll start up and see if this will actually work now. There she goes. Had her flooded. Still running a little fast, but if you take out that plug right there, you can put a screwdriver down in there, and there's a plug that you can turn, and that changes the RPM. So I might be able to slow the old Maytag down a little more, because that old saw is cranking pretty fast, and I don't have room for a bigger pulley over there on the frame. But that would work. At least now it's running and continuing to run without bogging down. All right, it's now adjusted a total of a half turn out from where it was originally. That might be just a hair slow. If it'll continue to run, I'll leave it. There we go. You hear that poop, poop. That's when, after it warms up, that's when it starts skipping because one of these cylinders is worn worse. These engines, I got a box of random parts, and basically it was 5 engines. And it took all those parts to build 2 3/4 of an engine. And the 3/4 of an engine runs, but I'm missing parts, so I have to start it with a drill. So I picked and chose which parts were the best, and all the best parts went into one engine. That's my baby. It runs perfect, easy to start, everything. This one was the next best group of parts, and that's why this one's a little funky and it spits a little bit. But I think I can go just a little bit slower, as long as I can get the air set right. And also don't want to go too slow because it's not cutting anything right now. When I put a load on it, then it'll be just, you know, a little bit different. So I'm only going to go about 1/8 of a turn this time. Put the plug back in, and then we'll try to start it back up. See how it runs. The other thing about it running slower is it won't cut through the metal, the pipes that I put in. It won't cut through them as fast at the show, and it uses less gas. And there's less wear and tear on the engine. So there is start. We don't need that because it's warm. There is run. It should start there. think we can go even slower. So let's keep going. It's kind of a hassle to have to shut it off and take the plug out and adjust it and everything, but that is the nature of these machines. So okay, so we're now a full turn out from where we were, from where we started. So plug back in. Yeah, you have to have, this plug has to seal good. Your gaskets for your cylinders have to seal good, or these things won't run. You can't have bad bushings here that leak real bad, or they just won't run. They have to be able to build compression and vacuum in that crankcase in order to operate. Even slower. Let's go even slower. I'm going to reach a point where it just won't want to keep running. But I think we can go quite a bit slower. We'll go another half turn just so we can get this done with. If you ever have one of these you're working on and it just will not start, it will not run, one of the things to look for is that spool in there being stuck. And if it's stuck, then you know, none of the fuel can get by it. Let's go even more. Even more. Eventually, we're going to get there. It actually is running better at the lower RPMs than I thought it would. Go another half turn. So now we're 2 turns out. Being twisted over like this does not help my lower back on this left side, but I can't get down on my left knee very well anymore. So what do you do? I'm going to go a full turn this time, just to see if that makes a considerable difference. Put these plugs back in. You don't want to crank them down super tight. Start. There is run. Uh-oh. Well, that tells me how far we can go, because when I put that plug back in, it's now hitting. So we cannot have it out that far. Actually, the plug is hitting inside the body, so we can't have it out that far. half a turn. Nope. Alright, so I guess we have reached our limit. Still won't turn. Yep, that's it. We can't do any more adjustments because if we go out at half a turn, it hits and locks up. So that's it. We are limited to that RPM. So I guess we'll just have to make do with that. Well, that'll work. A little faster than I wanted, but you know, hey, it is what it is. We can't do anything about it other than go to a bigger pulley on the saw